and the Virginia Dental Society, Price is considered an expert in Invisalign and continues to be an award-winning innovator in the industry.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into an all-new episode of Redskins Relaunch. We are live here on the homepage of DMV Stream Facebook and Twitter. Make sure to send us your comments all throughout the show, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is. We want to hear your takes. We want to hear what you're upset about, what you're excited about, if that's anything with the Washington Redskins. So we're going to get right into the show right here. Thank you for Winston Hilton for allowing us this opportunity. Winston's a very busy man, especially with the DC sports scene as it is right now, national. So he is working, covering that for NBC Sports Washington. So just great there and great going on in DC right now, pretty much besides the football team. So we have a great show for you today. Obviously, we're going to break into that Redskins game Thursday night instead of Sunday. I guess that's what it felt to have a pretty good Sunday. I mean, not upset about it. I guess that's what winning teams feel like when their team does well. We fortunately had to deal with that on Thursday, but made my Sunday a little bit better. So, of course, we'll talk about the Redskins, talk about Dwayne Haskins, what's up next, break down the Bills game, of course, keys to the game. We're going to talk about other things around the NFL, of course, the Nats World Series, Wizards, and, of course, the Capitals. They're off to a good start with the NHL. It's going to be good coming up for the Washington Capitals. They're off to a hot start with a lot of players playing well. So we're going to get right into the Redskins game. Thursday night game was built as the Kirk Cousins revenge game, and I didn't buy into that because I thought it would be better if it was in FedEx. He had a place to come home, do where he did the we like that or you like that stance, something like that. So I thought it wasn't quite the built up to the Kirk Cousins versus the Redskins as it was. I didn't think that was the correct way to build this game up. And it kind of lived up to that. It was a defensive game. Kirk Cousins didn't have his best of games, especially the way he's been playing lately. I mean, he's been on fire lately. Multiple touchdown passes, actually been a good fantasy quarterback, which has never been what Kirk Cousins has been known for. He's been known more of a game manager, can win games for you, never been more of a fantasy guy. And he's really been just really coming on lately. But, again, he didn't have his star receiver, Adam Thielen. Didn't play in this one Thursday night. Couple injuries. Josh Norman wasn't supposed to play in this one, but suited up and got through it. And that's one good thing I will say about Josh Norman this year. He was a competitor and a fighter for his team out there on Thursday night because they needed him, and he was not 100% healthy. So that was good to see Josh Norman get out there and fight through it for his teammates. But otherwise for the game, I mean, there was not a lot to be excited about. Obviously, Adrian Peterson, that was a pretty cool moment. With the Vikings fans acknowledging him, he getting past the certain yard record, became the 6th all-time leading rusher for the NFL. So that was a big moment, especially playing the majority of his career in Minnesota, and now gets to come back and see that. I thought that was a very cool moment, and that was really the only source of offense for the Redskins was Adrian Peterson, really getting that ground game going. And it was so bad that, I mean, Case got injured, but I don't think really with Case in there were they really moving the ball, that they went to Dwayne Haskins. And I think that's where it really got interesting for Redskins fans, because up till that, it was pretty predictable. The Vikings had a good defense. You weren't doing well with it. With Case Keenum, you were able to run the ball a little bit, but your defense stepped up, played better than it has.
Finally.
Yeah, finally. They were probably motivated to go up against their former teammate, their former quarterback, Kirk Cousins. A lot of guys know him, so that might have been a reason for the upgrade, but they have been playing better recently. 16 points gave up against the Dolphins. Yes, it's the Dolphins. Only 9 points against the 49ers, even though that was a mud bowl. So there are excuses of these low numbers, but, hey, it's an improvement, and you got to take what you can get with this Washington Redskins team.
You definitely have to take whatever you can get.
Exactly.
No doubt.
19 points from the Vikings when they were previously shredding people at home. That's a good showing for the defense, but, again, the offense could not carry the bill. And once Case Keenum got out, Dwayne Haskins got in, and this is where I thought it got really interesting, especially with that first throw, Cam. And I got to introduce my director over there, Cameron Anderson, getting the beats and making us all look good and sound good over there sporting the Nats. We're going to talk about that. But, Cameron, I don't know, just seeing Haskins come in, and you spent this first-round pick on him, 15 overall, another first-round pick on Montez Sweat. I mean, I haven't heard Sweat's name all year besides that Old Spice commercial he did, which is really well done.
I mean, with a name like Sweat, it was only a matter of time.
Yeah.
And, like, you got to get highlights from somewhere. So.
It was a good commercial, but Terry McLaurin, another good game, obviously. But that first pass, Haskins had a guy over the middle. We were in the red zone after a turnover. We had a chance to maybe get back into this game, maybe give the rookie some confidence, give the team some confidence. And he had a guy open over the middle, and he missed him high, missed him bad. What were your initial thoughts, Cam, just being a Redskins fan and seeing, Haskins finally got into the game, and then, he does that?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm surprised, and I think that it says a lot. But I was still happy that he got in. I mean, obviously not the way he got in. He never want anyone to get injured, especially because he's not exciting, but he's a professional quarterback. But I've been on the show before saying that I am always glad when Dwayne gets in, even if he's going to throw an interception, because he's incredibly raw. That's why he fell to 15. If there weren't warts there, he would have gone to the Giants at 6, or he would have gone 2 or 3, because we so often see 2 or 3 quarterbacks go in the top 5. There are warts with them. Was that throw terrible? Yes, but we have a full year where we don't expect to do anything but lose. Fine, let's let him throw 3 picks if he wants to. I mean, he only threw 1. It was, saying that, only throwing 1.5, obviously not a great showing or anything, but the big play upside, the big arm that he has, he's going to take risks. I think if he's not taking risks, we're not using him correctly. And while you don't like to see the interception, that I'm fine with it. I'm going to take it. I'm going to move on. Well, if he gets regular playing time, and depending on the severity of this injury, then I think he will, or I think he might. We will see plenty of more interceptions, but we will also see a little bit of gold. And that gold is exactly what you need to build on just going into the offseason. We've got another draft. We're going to have a good pick. Should we use a quarterback? Or should we use that pick on a quarterback? We have 8 games to figure that out, starting right now. Let's figure it out.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest point as well with that is why not Dwayne Haskins? Why not see what you have in Dwayne Haskins, in the rookie? I mean, what Case Keenum is. What Colt McCoy is. And you're going up against a pretty good defense in this Buffalo Bill team. I mean, it's going to be pretty similar to that Vikings game, I believe, if you just go with Case Keenum or you go with Colt McCoy. So I think why not go with Dwayne? I mean, you think last week, each week, Redskins, we asked, hey, was this any better than last week? Are we seeing improvements with this team, with this coaching staff, with this front office? And finally, you got an improvement. You got a big-time improvement from that defense, only giving up 19 points to a very good offense on a short week, Thursday night. I mean, a dome-type game at home. You go on the road and you hold that team to 19 points, a playoff team to 19 points. If you had a suitable offense, you win that game. That is a winnable game for you if your offense can do anything. And you finally got that from your defense. You finally played a little bit better. You got better from the last week, and then the offense takes a step back. And it's clear Haskins isn't ready. But whose fault is that? It's the coaching staff. It's the front office. We'll get someone in there that can get him ready. You spent a first-round pick, 15 overall, on this guy. You can't just throw him away like you did with RG3. You spent too much draft capital on RG3, now on Dwayne Haskins, to go get these guys. You have to get someone in there who can get him ready because he's clearly not. And I love Bill Callahan more than anybody, but he's a great O-line coach. He's not a head coach who's going to lead a young quarterback. You need someone in there who can be a young quarterback whisperer and can get this guy going. Makes no sense to me why Dwayne Haskins isn't taking every snap from here on out for the Washington Redskins, ready or not, trial by fire. You need someone to get him ready because he has to be the guy for this Washington Redskins team. You can't have another RG3 effect. You can't be asking, who's up next? This has to be your guy, and you've seen the defense improve. Now it's time for the offense and Dwayne Haskins to improve. Will they get the right guy in there to do it? That is my biggest question. Cam, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that you just got to go to him, and I want to see him for 8 games, and it's going to be a lot of interceptions in those games, and there's going to be a lot of losses in those games, but there's going to be a lot of losses anyway. So, right now we're on pace to have the 3rd pick in the draft or something like that. We're right in that range for Tua. We're right in that range for the Oregon
Justin Herbert.
Yeah, for Justin Herbert, for any of those top guys, but if we believe in Haskins, then we can trade back, and all of a sudden we get, some of the top end defensive players in the draft. Some things like that. We there's a lot of value in that pick. Either going with a quarterback if we think that Dwayne's not the answer, or trading down and going for a bunch of talent. If we do think Dwayne's the answer, we have 8 weeks to figure it out. Where we don't expect to win anyway. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest point. You have to know what you have in Dwayne Haskins. You have to have a plan coming into this draft next year because, like you said, that is way too valuable of a pick, whether to take someone there, a quarterback of the future, or drop back and get multiple starters like this team desperately needs on offense, defense, and special teams. You just have to know what you're doing so you can really just take that draft and really know how to attack it and what you really are your plans moving forward as an organization, and you cannot know that unless you know you have a quarterback of the future. And then you're going to end up like the Cardinals, where you had Josh Rosen. You don't know, hey, is this guy good enough? What should we do? We have an early pick again. And then they had a complete waste of a season. One and done. Coach Steve Wilkes was out of there. Josh Rosen was out of there. The 10th overall pick, higher than Dwayne Haskins. Haskins went 15 overall. They said, nope, that's not enough, and we'll take Kyler Murray, number 1 overall. So the Redskins, either way they go, we don't know what's right and what's wrong. No one can really predict with these young quarterbacks, really, unless they're Peyton Manning, who also went 0-14 his first year. So just a lot of losses by Dwayne Haskins doesn't necessarily mean he won't be a good long-term quarterback. But this season is all about Dwayne Haskins seeing what you have in him, just like the Giants are seeing what they have in Daniel Jones. The Cardinals are seeing what they have in Kyler Murray to make sure that they made the right decision in letting go of Josh Rosen. The Redskins are going to have that same type of decision the Cardinals have, whether they're take another quarterback or move back and take players. But you have to know what you have in Dwayne Haskins before you do that, and you are not giving him the tools to succeed or even know what you're not even letting him know what he can do. You're not even allowing yourself to see what he can do by not playing him. So I think you're right. You have to go up and do this. And that's just really what it is. And we're going to take a break right now. We break down the Redskins-Vikings game. Good defense, bad offense for a change. And we're going to be looking ahead to next week's game versus the Bills. We're going to be breaking that down, keys of the game coming up. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a commercial break right now.
This content is brought to you by Dental Associates. For more than 39 years, Dr. Stephen Price has been practicing dentistry in Northern Virginia. A member of the American Dental Association, the Northern Virginia Dental Society, and the Virginia Dental Society, Price is considered an expert in Invisalign and continues to be an award-winning innovator in the industry. This content is brought to you by Dental Associates. At DMVSTREAM.COM, we use state-of-the-art live streaming and video production tools to create an unparalleled viewing experience from local sporting events. Whether we're using our 12-foot HD broadcast production truck or employing one of our state-of-the-art fly pack kits, our broadcasts always include multiple camera angles, instant replay, live scoring, graphics, and a complete broadcast crew working together to showcase the DMV's finest. Contact us today to learn more about our services and streaming packages. Visit us on the web at DMVSTREAM.COM. At DMVSTREAM.COM, we use state-of-the-art live streaming and video production tools to create an unparalleled viewing experience from local sporting events. Whether we're using our 12-foot HD broadcast production truck or employing one of our state-of-the-art fly pack kits, our broadcasts always include multiple camera angles, instant replay, live scoring, graphics, and a complete broadcast crew working together to showcase the DMV's finest. Contact us today to learn more about our services and streaming packages. Visit us on the web at DMVSTREAM.COM.
Okay, we are back. Redskins relaunch. Thank you for sticking with us. We broke down that Redskins-Vikings game. I think we all kind of got out our frustrations, our concerns, something that we liked. We liked the play of the defense. Gave props to Josh Norman for sticking through a tough injury, playing through. He was clearly hurt. And then we talked about, like, really the main thing is, why isn't Dwayne Haskins playing? Why isn't he starting? And a lot of it is it up to Bill Callahan? A lot of people say no, it's in this front office, it's this and this and that. But we got into our opinions on why he thinks he should be out there, but now we need to get into our upcoming game versus the Bills. Very interesting game versus the Buffalo Bills. Everyone kind of coming into the year, the Bills weren't supposed to be this great team, and now they're off to a great start. 5-2, I believe. Just had a rough loss to the Philadelphia Eagles at home, which a lot of people didn't see coming. They just lost to an NFC East opponent, so now they're coming to play another NFC East opponent. We'll certainly be looking to get a big victory on the road. This Bills team is led by their defense and a capable young quarterback in Josh Allen, who has surprised a lot. Everyone knew he had a big arm coming out of Wyoming, but he's shown off his running ability, proven to be one of the best running quarterbacks in the league at 6'5", 220 pounds, a great athlete, big arm up there in Buffalo. So they will be coming to town to face the Redskins. And I think the biggest key is for me is we've seen. I kind of gave you my prediction. I thought it's going to be very similar to the Vikings game, low scoring, 19-9, something like that. Especially with Bill Callahan saying Case is going to be the starter if he's healthy, and then Colt if he isn't. So they said they're not going to go with Haskins. I mean, I just think it's going to be a very similar game. It's going to be hard to move the ball against a vaunted Buffalo Bills defense that was playing pretty well before the Eagles game. Eagles obviously shredded them pretty good. Miles Sanders, rookie running back out of Penn State for Philadelphia, had a monster game, both receiving and running the ball. So maybe we can get something going out there with Chris Thompson out of the backfield. But this Bills defense is stout, a really good defensive line, two really good safeties in Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde. So it's really hard to throw the ball. Good cornerback, Tre'Davious White out of LSU, first-round pick. I think the defense is going to be able to do its own. It's going to be all right. It's going to hold its own leg. It's against Minnesota. It's just, is this offense going to be able to get anything going with our lone weapons of Adrian Peterson and Terry McLaurin? Another good defense coming in. Cameron, what are your thoughts? Does this offense have really any shot to move the ball and put the defense in a position, or put the team in a position to win a game? Because 9 points is not going to win a game in the NFL like we saw Thursday night against Minnesota.
I mean, look, this game actually reminds me a lot about the Bears game. Going in against a really good defense, no one's going to question the Bills' defense, but the Bills' offense is questionable. The same way ours is, and the same way the Bears was coming into us. Now, the Bears ended up scoring a bunch of points, so that our defense has to show up for sure. But if our defense can show up, hold them down, and this kind of goes back to why I want Dwayne in there. Dwayne, I think, will give you, 1 or 2 moments of magic. If one or two moments of magic can get us 2 touchdowns, all of a sudden that's 14 points. You tack on the same field goals we've been getting, and 20 points might win this game.
Yeah, so I think some keys to the game to get even more specific is with that offense, we're thinking, 20 points may win this game. That's 2 or 3 touchdowns with a couple field goals. That's not that many. So the offense has to be more unpredictable. They need to get some more trick plays, just more play action, get something going downfield. Use Terry McLaurin's speed. Use Steven Sims. You saw that against the Patriots of all teams. Had that nice inside carry where he took it all the way to the house. Let's get some more of that going. Let's get Chris Thompson going in the screen game. Try to get this aggressive defense played against itself. And like we said, the no huddle was a good wrinkle last week. It worked well. I'd like to see more of it. Especially if Dwayne Haskins is going to play. Let him do that. That's what these college quarterbacks do a lot of in college. These spread, no-huddle offenses. That's where they're comfortable. That's where you see Deshaun Watson thriving down in Houston. Lamar Jackson thriving in Baltimore. They changed their offenses to tailor-make to these guys. Hint, hint, Redskins. Maybe you want to try that for Dwayne Haskins, but let's get this going for him. Keep the no-huddle going. He worked very well, and then just keep feeding the beast. That's really all we have right now. Keep feeding Adrian Peterson. He was fired up to play against the Vikings. Understandable. I mean, he's just going to keep climbing those record charts, and he needs the money, so he's gonna keep running hard. So I think those are the big 3 keys to the game. Offense has to be unpredictable, and just got to keep feeding AP. You got to give the defense some rest, because this Bills offense isn't explosive, I would say, but they are physical. They're going to ground and pound at you. They still have 55-year-old Frank Gore back there. I'm kidding. He's only about 35, but it seems like he's been playing forever. He's back there.
Do you remember the NFL before Frank Gore?
I don't remember I don't remember football before Frank Gore. That's how back in Miami he was running back for the U. I mean, it's unbelievable. He's still going in the league. He's back there. They have another young running back from Florida Atlantic, Devin Singletary, explosive, made some big plays against the Eagles last week. And then Josh Allen. If you haven't seen Josh Allen yet, this is your chance to watch him, watch a good young quarterback. Hopefully this is what Dwayne Haskins looks like in year 2, showing off his running ability, showing off his big arm. That's 2 things Haskins has, mobility and an arm. Josh Allen has both of those. This would be a good sign to see where the Redskins could be in a couple years. This Bills team is similar to the Redskins a couple years ago. They didn't have their quarterback. They had a good defense. They were playing Tyrod Taylor at quarterback in a playoff game, Nathan Peterman. They had a good defense, good special teams, but they just couldn't find the quarterback. They go into the draft, they get their guy Josh Allen, and they start to build around him. They get a running back, Devin Singletary. They get some more receivers. Cole Beasley from Dallas comes over to be a slot guy to help that young quarterback. And it's been very well for the Bills. Yes, they're in a weaker division. Besides the Patriots, get to play the Jets and the Dolphins 4 times. That'll help, but they're looking good, led by a young quarterback, a good defense. I think this is a team that the Redskins should envision or could envision themselves being in a couple of years. They get Dwayne Haskins going like this guy Josh Allen has. And, of course, defense, name of the game, over under 5 sacks. So that'll be the key. Those are the keys to this Bills game. I think it'd be very interesting just to see Josh Allen, just to see him as a young quarterback compared to your young quarterback. I mean, it's tough watching these guys that are drafted later and in other rounds do better than what your guy's been doing so far. You see things like Lamar Jackson and these other late-round quarterbacks that do well. So I think it would just be a very interesting game for these two. Very predictable. Like last week, I would say 20-10, 20-9, and in that range. Cameron, any predictions for you?
No, I mean, I think it'll be 2014 maybe 24-14. Call it, maybe with a defensive touchdown or 2. Here's the thing, for how good Josh Allen is, and he is a very respectable young quarterback in the league. He makes mistakes. He throws interceptions. They've turned the ball over. So if the Redskins can win that turnover battle for me, all of a sudden you're putting yourself in a situation where you can capitalize on 1 or 2 opportunities, maybe get into the end zone for the first time in 3 weeks, which you never like to see a stat like that, but we just need we're 1 or 2 explosive plays away, and I think that it will be nice to stack up you against the Bills, because as you were talking, Nick, the Bills were basically where we are, except I would actually argue that Terry McLaurin is the most explosive offensive weapon on either team. Yep. So
the Bills would love to have him.
All of a sudden we're going into, if Haskins the answer, or if we draft another quarterback, or however we do it, we have a legitimate wide receiver 1 prospect, I think, to go with the defense and with the special teams if we can keep developing those. So, we've hit on one pick, I think, in Terry McLaurin. I saw he was ranked the number 5 rookie in the NFL right now. When's the last? I mean, probably RG3 was the last time the Redskins had any rookie up there. Jonathan Allen was pretty good and stuff too. But let's build. Let's put one good quarter together, and then maybe add a second and do it slowly, one at a time, rather than just throw Case out there and kick 3 field goals and lose because we didn't score a touchdown again.
Yeah, I think everyone knows what's coming with Case Keenum, with these other guys. It's going to be very predictable. It's going to be what you saw on Thursday night. I mean, the defense held as strong as they could. 13, only 1 touchdown, the rest field goals against the Vikings. A 4-0 Viking team at home, a 6-2 team overall. We're going to go around the NFL real quick. We mentioned the Eagles got a bit of an upset win over the Bills. Was not helpful for us. Seahawks get a big win over the Falcons, but hey, Matt Schaub, shout out Matt Schaub, still out there doing it. UVA boy, did not know he was still in the league.
I definitely thought he retired.
39 of 52. They had the old man Schaub throwing 52 times down there in the Georgia Dome. Threw for 460 yards. He's going to need a lot of ice on that shoulder. Some icy hot for my guy Matt Schaub out of UVA. Good game for him. I mean, Julio Jones, 10 catches, 152 yards. And then another fun game, Chargers at Bears. Bears miss another late field goal. Kicker Eddie Pinheiro missed a 41-yarder as time expired, and his head coach, Matt Nagy, actually made it harder for him by taking a knee and extending that kick.
And he still stands by that.
Yeah,
that position.
Very adamant about that. Even though
times out of 100
cost his team another win, unfortunately for Chicago fans. The Lions beat up on the Giants, but a respectable showing for the Giants, 31-26. Daniel Jones, a good rookie quarterback. Had a bunch of touchdowns against the Lions. I know it's just the Lions defense, but still, good day for him.
Playing all right. They were competitive against the Packers. That was 2 weeks ago, and then there was the 2 controversial roughing the passer calls, I think, on that one. Gave him a little bit of late life, and then Aaron Rodgers did Aaron Rodgers type things, but they definitely could have won that game. So.
Yeah, and you're much more confident in that you've seen a Daniel Jones than you have seen a Dwayne Haskins so far.
Well,
and I think
you've seen
exactly, and that's just the puzzle. That's just the frustrating part. I mean, if Daniel Jones can do it with a team that's maybe a little bit better than the Redskins, they have a better receiver, Golden Tate. And I guess Saquon Barkley is a younger version of Adrian Peterson, but the teams aren't that different. And seeing Daniel Jones do that, but keep going down the list. Colts, big win over the Titans. Adam Vinatieri made a 51-yarder. Old man Adam Vinatieri, 22 seconds left to beat the Broncos. Rams beat the Bengals in London, 24-10. And Cooper Kupp, wow. Now everyone in London thinks Cooper Kupp's the best receiver of all time now since he went over there. They got 7 catches, 220 yards, and a touchdown. The Saints beat up on the Cardinals 31-9 at home in Drew Brees' first game back from injury. He had 373 yards and 3 touchdowns, so no ill effects from that thumb injury. Some up other big games. Patriots beat the Browns. Another bad performance for the Browns. And then another sneaky good game in the late window was Texans-Raiders, where Deshaun Watson kept balling, kept proving people why he should have been a top pick over Mitchell Trubisky, proving Dabo Sweeney right when he said you're passing on Michael Jordan when you're passing on this guy. 3 touchdowns, big comeback victory over the Raiders, and we're not even going to talk about that slop on Monday night. That was the Dolphins versus the Steelers. We're going to look ahead to...
There was a second, though. There was a second, and it was 14-0.
Don't know. We're not even going to talk about it. Thursday night, you got Cardinals, 49ers. We got Bills, Redskins, obviously. And then some other big games are Eagles, Bears. Loser, that's in some trouble. We have, what else? Packers, there's the good game. The Sunday night game, Patriots, Ravens. I think a lot of us will be looking forward to that. See how Lamar Jackson, how Bill Belichick prepares for that.
And how for real is that Patriots defense? I mean, obviously they're for real, but this Ravens offense, far and away, head and shoulders, the best offense that they've faced.
Yeah, so we're gonna take another quick break, but when we get back, we're gonna talk DC sports, Wiz Capitals, and of course, Game 7 tonight, Washington DC, Washington Nationals. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
At DMVSTREAM.COM, we use state-of-the-art live streaming and video production tools to create an unparalleled viewing experience from local sporting events. Whether we're using our 12-foot HD broadcast production truck or employing one of our state-of-the-art flypack kits, our broadcasts always include multiple camera angles, instant replay, live scoring, graphics, and a complete broadcast crew working together to showcase the DMV's finest. Contact us today to learn more about our services and streaming packages. Visit us on the web at DMVSTREAM.COM. This content is brought to you by Dental Associates. For more than 39 years, Dr. Stephen Price has been practicing dentistry in Northern Virginia. A member of the American Dental Association, the Northern Virginia Dental Society, and the Virginia Dental Society, Price is considered an expert in Invisalign and continues to be an award-winning innovator in the industry.
And welcome back to Redskins Relaunch. Your host, Nick Yore. I'm your host, filling in for Winston Hilton. He is a very busy man today with the Washington Nationals, forcing a Game 7. We have our boy Cameron Anderson producing for us over there on the ones and twos, making us look good, making us sound good, pressing the right buttons, and he's wearing a good hat as well. And we've talked Redskins, Vikings. We've talked Redskins, Bills coming up. We've talked NFL. And now we need to focus right here in our own, because we have some good stuff happening right now in the D.C. area. We got to focus in on our D.C. sports, and we're going to start with the Washington Capitals. Off to a pretty good start here of late. They've won 4 in a row, beat the Blackhawks 6-0, Hurricanes 3-2, Blues 3-2, and Blackhawks 4-3. Oh, I'm sorry, that was the wrong. They've won 2 in a row. Canucks 6-5 and Maple Leafs 4-3. I'm sorry, they're in the middle of their Canadian stretch here for the Capitals. They had games at Calgary, at Edmonton, at Vancouver, and at Toronto. Now they have to play the Sabres coming up next, but they have off to a great start. Beat the Leafs last night 4-3 in overtime. Defense struggled a little bit at the beginning of the season, was giving up some high-scoring games, but now they're on the right side of those. You see some losses, 4-3 to the Stars, 6-5 to the Predators, and now they're getting these wins, 6-5 over the Canucks, 5-3 over the Flames, 4-3 over the Leafs. What do you think has been the biggest change, Cameron, in defensive mentality or just in this team, whether it's the goalkeeping, because you've seen Holtby and Samsonov rotating a lot more than people expected this year. What are your thoughts overall on just John Carlson just continues to kill it, by the way, second in points as a defenseman in the entire NHL?
I mean, I would say in general, it's the offense has just, started scoring more than we're giving up. And I know that sounds simple and silly, but the defense still isn't great. I mean, 5 goals against the Canucks 2 nights ago, Maple Leafs 4 against the Oilers, 3 against the Flames, 3.5 goals a game, 4 goals a game. That's not going to cut it. But as you mentioned, John Carlson, he might not, the defense, whatever. But if he's going to be second in the NHL in points, that's still going to get you some wins. You talk about rotating between Holtby and Samsonov. Holtby started to play much better than he was. There was talk about just going to Samsonov full time after like 3 games this year, which, talk about an overreaction. But he's now settled in a little bit. Samsonov, we're seeing what we have in him. There are those magic words again, seeing what you have in a rookie. It's crazy. But the offense is looking good, and we're finally, we're not closing out any third periods. Our last 3 games all went to the extra period, 1 shootout and 2 overtime. Luckily, we did win 2 of those, but you still would like to see the team close out 1 or 2 in regulation.
Yeah, that's a great point. Even some of these wins, like you said, they are high-scoring wins, and that does have to be adjusted, especially when you come across playoff times. Like we said,
just keep betting the over. If you bet the over,
we don't endorse that on this show. But yes, definitely this defense. I mean, defense is going to be what wins playoff games, so they definitely need to step it up somehow. But with the way Carlson's playing and the way this power play is playing, they're a hot team right now. First place in the Metro at 9-2 for a full 4 points ahead of Carolina, who's in second place, and that other team that plays in that arena in the Verizon Center, the Capital One Arena. Gosh, man, I'm a couple of names behind on that one. The Washington Wizards. Yes, the NBA season has started. I saw on Sunday was one of the only days where the NFL, the NBA, NHL, and NBA all were on one day. That's very cool with sports.
Equinox.
Exactly. And Wizards are not off to the best of starts. Only 3 games, 1 and 2. Obviously, a surprise win, I thought, too, at OKC. OKC's not supposed to be good, but neither are the Wizards, so it was a road win. So that was a good road win. And they lost to the Mavericks and the Spurs on the road, which is expected. But both close losses, 124-122 to the Spurs and 108-100 to the Mavs, with their best player, Bradley Beal, being ejected. So if he finishes that game, maybe a different story. But I think that's a great sign for this Wizards team. Hey, we're playing hard. We know we're not going to be the best team this year, but we're playing hard. We're competing. We're trying to prove that, hey, a lot of these guys deserve to belong in the NBA, and we're showing Bradley Beal what this organization is about. We're going to compete no matter what. And it reminds me a little bit so far of some of those teams without stars that do pretty well, like the Clippers last year. They snuck in with the 8 seed just off heart defense and playing hard. I mean, I know it's way too early to say any of that with the Wizards, but just these 3 road games where you battle in 2, you win 1. I mean, it's a good sign. The Rockets will be a good test tonight. Obviously, 8 o'clock at home. I saw Ted Leonis tweeted out that everyone in the stadium can stay after and watch the Nats on the big screen. So yeah, it's better. It's turned around for the Wizards, and that's all you can really ask for, I thought, out of Ernie Grunfeld. 1 and 2 in the Southeast, which is a very weak division. Should have a lot of wins between Charlotte, Orlando, and Atlanta and Washington. Should be an easy division for the Heat. But that's going to be our Wizards update. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come right back, and we're going to talk the big news of the day. Of course, Nationals Game 7, Washington, D.C., in Houston at Minute Maid Park. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back talking Game 7, Washington Nationals. Don't go away.
This content is brought to you by Dental Associates. For more than 39 years, Dr. Stephen Price has been practicing dentistry in Northern Virginia. A member of the American Dental Association, the Northern Virginia Dental Society, and the Virginia Dental Society. Price is considered an expert in Invisalign and continues to be an award-winning innovator in the industry. This content is brought to you by Dental Associates. For more than 39 years, Dr. Stephen Price has been practicing dentistry in Northern Virginia. A member of the American Dental Association, the Northern Virginia Dental Society, and the Virginia Dental Society, Price is considered an expert in Invisalign and continues to be an award-winning innovator in the industry.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Redskins Relaunch. Been a fun show so far today. I'm your host, Nick Yore, and we have Cameron Anderson over there producing for us, getting the ones and twos, making us look good, sound good, all that stuff. And we've talked Redskins, Vikings, we've talked Redskins, Bills, we've talked NFL, NBA, and NHL, DC Sports. But we really need to get into the big topic here tonight on Redskins Relaunch. I'm sorry, but it's not the Redskins. They are not our top story. It is the Washington Nationals tonight. Game 7 in Minute Maid Park in Houston. No road team has ever won every single game of the series, but that's what the Nationals are trying to do tonight. And I can't wait. I'm so excited. I can't even talk about it. Game 7. And let's start with Game 6 because that was one of the craziest baseball games I've ever seen.
Yeah. Anyone who thinks baseball is boring could go watch Game 6.
I mean, it starts with Bregman and the bat stuff, which, I mean, I didn't think he needed to apologize for. I thought it was cool.
I didn't think he should have apologized, but I loved that then Soto did it too.
Yeah, and then Soto does it too, which is great. I mean, just great theater, great base. Everyone was enjoying that. It was great stuff. I mean, we know Bregman's a good guy. His dad and uncle are local D.C. guys, a lot of D.C. ties, has family members in the Nationals organization, does Alex Bregman. He did not mean anything by that. Obviously, emotions got the best of him. I'd be pretty excited if I just hit a home run off Steven Strasburg as well in a World Series game.
In a game that they were trying, that would have clinched it for him.
Exactly.
He just gave him the lead.
I mean,
in the first inning, your whole crowd's going crazy. Like, what do you expect? To jog around the bases? Like,
no problem with that from me. No problem with the Soto retaliation. I thought that was great. Adam Eaton, hell of a shot right there. Adam Eaton ripping that slider off Verlander. But we got to get into the meat of this because I lost my mind last night after that call. And so we're in the 7th inning, and Yan Gomes leads off, and 3-2 game after Soto and Eaton went not back-to-back, but home run out, and then another home run.
Sandwiched around the rundown out,
yep.
Yeah.
So 3-2 Nats, 7th inning, and Yan Gomes leads off single. Trey Turner hits infield hit, dribbler. The pitcher runs over and fields it and throws it to first, and hopefully we've all seen the play. We know what happens, but it's a bang-bang play, and the ball gets away because if it's a bad throw up the line. Gomes ends up at third. Turner ends up at second with no outs. And Turner's already standing on second when the home plate umpire then decides to come jogging it out and go, out. And he pulls out the out signal and rules out Trey Turner is out at first for runner interference. Wouldn't allow the player to make a play. That makes Trey Turner out. And it sends Yan Gomes from third all the way back to first. He doesn't even get to advance to second on the base. That's how bad these baseball rules and how they've just not been updated or just fixed at all. He had to go back to first because at least you need to stay him at second because he clearly made it to second. They didn't even look to try and get him out at second. And so they send him back to first, and then luckily for the MLB and for the Nationals, Anthony Rendon takes them off the hook because if the Astros win that game, we are not talking about the Houston Astros winning that series. We are talking about the umpires blowing that for the Washington Nationals in a series-clinching call. Luckily, Anthony Rendon went yard and put that all to rest. Ball don't lie, as Scott Van Pelt, Washington, D.C., DMV native, so eloquently put it last night on SportsCenter. And Anthony Rendon sent the message to those umpires saying, hey, we're still here. We're not going anywhere. All right, let's get back to the call. Because for me, I thought Jeff Passan, MLB writer on Twitter, works for MLB, ESPN, covers Major League Baseball, had a great tweet. He basically said you were rewarding a bad throw from the pitcher by giving that out. Trey Turner had beaten that ball to the bag. A perfect throw, Trey Turner is still safe. The only reason that's even a factor is because he threw it up the line, and the first baseman had I'm not going to say cheap, but a smart, savvy play by that first baseman to stick his glove out there and flail it off his arm and flail and do more to get that interference call. It was a savvy play by him, but if the ball is not thrown poorly up the line, no one even notices and no one even cares. So you're rewarding a bad throw by the Houston Astros and an error that they should have had. You're rewarding that. And then the next inning, on a Jose Altuve's dribbler, he threw up the line. Rendon throws him out. And they show a replay of that, and Altuve is way more in the baseline than Trey Turner was. And no call, no one even thought about it because Rendon made a good throw, not up the line, not in harm's way, and no one even mentions it. But because the Astros pitcher, I believe it was Peacock at the time, throws the ball up the line, and a bad throw, you reward him for an out. It was awful. The whole review was awful because it was illegal to review a judgment call, which that was, and they still took 5 minutes to review it.
For 5 minutes.
How does no one tell them this isn't reviewable? Joe Torre's sitting right there. Trey Turner pointed it out. I thought that was great.
Trey Turner was not letting Joe Torre just sit there. He was calling him out.
Yeah, and they review a non-reviewable play for 5 minutes, and then he gives the out sign, which you shouldn't do because the play was not under review. They put it up at Minute Maid Park that the play was under review. The whole MLB was under scrutiny last night, and they failed. They failed. The replay system failed. Everyone is laughing at Major League Baseball last night and today because they spent 5 minutes looking at an obvious call and still got it wrong, and then had the dignity or the fortitude or something just to stand by that in the press conference. Joe Torre, who used to be one of the greatest managers of all time, was going to go down as one of the greatest managers of all time in baseball, now is known as a corporate puppet for Major League Baseball because he just said whatever they told him to say. It was clearly the wrong call, and he stuck by that just after the game, just being the MLB's corporate puppet or just their voice for umpires. And he lost all credibility right there. All his respect at being a great manager was going to be known as one of the great Yankee managers, and now he's known as this guy who blows this call so obviously old man style in baseball and just ruins his reputation for me and Joe Torre, and just made Major League Baseball look really bad last night. That's my rant. I've been holding back for it, and I needed to say it, but we still have a Game 7 tonight.
We still have a Game 7, and that is the beautiful thing about what Rendon is. You said that they got MLB off the hook, and they totally did because, and we were winning at the time of the play. So anyone who says, like, oh, you're winning, like, it's fine. I mean, we've now watched, 184 games of our bullpen play, so are you really trying to say that we should be confident with a one-run lead? Now, we made it hold up. We won 7-2, and as a result, Game 7. The two most beautiful words in sports. If I asked you, Nick, early part of 2018 that we were going to have one championship already with the Caps, and then Game 7 in Houston against the Astros with the Nationals that can't make it out of the first round, the Nationals that aren't going to re-sign Bryce Harper, those Nationals are going to be in a Game 7 with Max Scherzer on the mound against Zach Greinke, who's struggled all postseason. What would you have said?
Exactly. I mean, that's why. We can talk all about Game 6 all we want, but Game 7 is what we need to focus on. And like you said, I think every single Nationals fan, every single person in the Washington D.C. area, you told this team at any point in the year, let alone when they were 19-31, let alone on opening day, let alone when they were just beat the Dodgers or when they were playing the Brewers. If you said, hey, we have one Game 7, doesn't matter where it is, we have Max Scherzer on the mound. You guys in? I guarantee they all say, hell
100%.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
100% of people, and if you even like know a guy who likes the Nationals, you would have said that. You don't have to be a fan. You don't have to be anything. We're 3-0 in that arena. I'm not saying that like that really means anything because it doesn't. I mean, obviously, although no team in any major sport in the U.S., there's been no playoff series where a road team won 6 games. Well, we've already done it, and we've got a 7th game. So let's just keep breaking records. Like I feel like please count the Nationals out right now. That's what I want more than anything is for everyone just to count us out because that's exactly when we win.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I think I'm not going to make a prediction. I'm not going to jinx anything. I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to baseball. Maybe Cam will, but I just think with that win last night, all that they overcame, and then you got your Rock Scherzer on the mound. If he can just go out, I mean, he's going to be so fired up, and they might have to calm him down a little bit.
The fired up is actually interesting. He might be too fired up, so we'll look out for his first inning. Like you know, he's itching to get out there. I mean, you know, he was itching to get out there in Game 5, and then he warmed up yesterday, probably just because he was like, Davey, I'm going to warm up. I'm just gonna feel free to use me if you need to. He's been chomping at the bit. He's been chomping at the bit for this start. And, you know, Game 7, this has Max Scherzer written all over it. If he can stay within himself a little bit, you know, stick at 95 on the fastball in the first inning, not try and throw 99 the whole game, which, you know, because you can't. That's just too much on the arm, especially on an injured arm or an injured neck or whatever it is, stiffness. So if he can stay within himself a little bit, that's when the Astros should be worried.
I agree. And we're going to wrap here now. Been a great episode of Redskins Relaunch. Get our closing remarks here. Redskins, like we talked about them ad nauseum, and this Bills game, like I said, very interesting game to watch. Watch the other team as much as you watch the Redskins this week because this could be a team the Redskins should bottle themselves after or could be in the future. Good young quarterback, strong defense, good running game. That should be a good start for this Redskins organization as they start to turn it around. We talked Nats, we talked Wizards, we talked Caps, and I think really we're all just rooting for the Nats tonight. Everyone send your best prayers for Game 7.
N-A-T-S,
we got Mad Max.
Baby. NATS.
Yeah.
Nats.
Cam, any closing remarks from you?
No, I'm going to go home and then just stare at my TV and stress for the next, 6 hours, 7 hours? This game will probably end sometime around, 1 a.m. Look for, 12 pitchers to be used in this game, by the way. If you see, Strasburg for an out, don't be surprised.
Yeah, I wish I had my Nationals windbreaker on like Tony Kornheiser right now on the set of PDI. But as they always say, make sure to watch Game 7 tonight. And it's been a great episode of Redskins Relaunch. Winston Hilton will be back next week, so make sure to tune in 7:30 next week, next Wednesday, Facebook, Twitter, DMVSTREAM.com. Catch all episodes of Redskins Relaunch. You can archived on the DMVSTREAM.com website with episodes from Winston Hilton, Colvin Underwood, myself, Yosef Nasser. All those good episodes are here on the DMVSTREAM.com page. We have Winston Hilton back in studio next weekend live, 7:30. Redskins Relaunch, DMV Stream, Facebook and Twitter. For Nick Yore, Cameron Anderson, thank you for joining us tonight. It's been a fun show, and go Nats, Game 7, Mad Max, baby.
This content is brought to you by Dental Associates. For more than 39 years, Dr. Stephen Price has been practicing dentistry in Northern Virginia. A member of the American Dental Association, the Northern Virginia Dental Society, and the Virginia Dental Society.